Businessman Suleiman Carrim is taking the Madlanga Commission to court today in an urgent bid to halt the probe from subpoenaing him to appear before it this Friday. Also, the Commission is expected to hear evidence today from a witness who was meant to testify last Friday. For more on that, let's cross to Sakina and Canny. We're going to give us a little bit more on this. Sakina?
Indeed, Leanne, day 52 and a busy one. As you say, on the one hand, the Commission in court, and on the other hand, we continue to hear evidence here at the Bridget Mabandla Justice College. But Canny, just to come back to what's expected today, but starting from yesterday, where you see how important it is to actually follow the evidence and connect the dots, so to speak. I think witness B appeared in October. And yesterday, it was about remembering what happened back then and linking it to what happened, what was testified yesterday, and just drawing those parallels to see what corroborates and what doesn't. But of course, what's going to happen today again is expected to be quite interesting because, again, we're going back to evidence that was adduced before the Commission previously, and now we're going to hear the other side of the story.
Indeed. It's going to be quite difficult to navigate today's evidence because there is a ruling that this is going to be a partially in-camera witness. But if we go back to phase one of the evidence that was given by Lieutenant General Dumsani Khumalo, that is the head of crime intelligence, when he was going through the WhatsApp exchanges and the CCTV footage, etc., that he had, one of the instances or incidents that he gave in relation to alleged cartel member Katiso Katie Molefe was CCTV footage at his house, where a police officer is seen driving to his house and staying there for a couple of minutes, then leaving with a bag in his hand. Now, we don't know what is in the bag, but we know what was being implied through the evidence. This particular cop is someone who is alleged to be part of the office of Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya, which again ties him into this alleged allegation of an infiltration of criminal cartel syndicates in the criminal justice system. And of course, Katiso Katie Molefe allegedly enjoyed protection or a shield from higher-ranking officials. So that is the witness that we're testifying today, with just their audio, no face, and no name. However, based on the description that you, if you are a loyal viewer, if you could put it that way, of the Madlanga Commission, you'll know exactly who is being spoken about here, because during that evidence, not at one point was his name hidden or his designation or where he served, where he worked, etc. Everything was out there at that moment. And although from the CCTV footage, you don't see his face quite clearly, but the circumstances surrounding this particular individual are quite clear, where you can place it directly in that particular evidence of the CCTV footage, where everyone was wondering for weeks what was in that bag that he left with in that short few minutes that he was seen in HD in CCTV at the home of alleged cartel member Katiso Katie Molefe.
And of course, state resources, the vehicle that was used as well in doing all of these rounds.
In addition to that, what exactly was the business of this particular cop to be showing up at an alleged cartel member's house? What were they discussing in that short time frame? And it looks, or it appears, that the visit wasn't quite long, so it couldn't have been an issue about crime. And what exactly did he leave with from that particular residence in alleged cartel member Katiso Katie Molefe? Because we are hearing through the concurrent evidence that this particular individual enjoyed alleged protection from the high-ranking SABC officials. And we heard through witness B and witness A, and to some extent witness C, that when they were discussing the Katiso Katie Molefe case with respect to the Aman Swat murder, because he is implicated in that particular case, that they received numerous calls from high-ranking SABC officials warning them about how powerful these individuals are, that they shouldn't proceed with this case and this investigation. So it all ties in if you look at the evidence from phase one. And essentially what you're seeing is a cop who will have to respond to these allegations regarding the alleged improper association and what exactly he was doing at that residence on that day. What did he grab and what did he leave with? And of course, I'm sure there's other evidence that is going to come into play, because we've heard on Friday that there are messages that the evidence leader seeks to discuss in these hearings, and it's going to be Chief Evidence Leader Advocate Matthew Charleston, if I understand correctly from Friday's proceedings, that will be dealing with that. And if that is the case, it's going to be quite a tough time on the stand, whether he shows his face or not, to explain this alleged conduct that allegedly took place.
And as we understand, quite a few of those messages that will need to be waded through. And it's very interesting, as Canny says, looking at how all of these things are tied together, but also waiting to see where it all takes us. You'll remember Witness B also, when she was on the stand, testified about the peculiar interest in that case when the cartridges with the Armand Swart case, when all of those things were happening and the court appearances, and she was talking about how many police officers, how many ordinary people. That's the heightened interest in Katie Molefe's case, and it's going to be interesting to hear about more of these things that happened. But for now, it's back to you, Leanne.
All right, thanks so much, Sakina and Canny, for always bringing us up to speed on what's happening at the Madlanga Commission.